Why are you in such a hurry? Take it easy, it's more fun to take it slow. No, I can't take it anymore. Do you know how many years I've been holding back? Today I finally let go of the deadlock inside me. Don't make me hold back anymore. With that, the two of them rushed at each other and started the battle. They were so fierce that they couldn't even go to the bedroom because they were too tired. The heat of both of them was burning with passion. The aunt was limp, enjoying these unique moments. Asher tensed up, serving her to make her feel the happiest, most fulfilled. Hello, everyone. Welcome to our channel, where we bring you the most interesting and dramatic stories in life. These stories will take the audience from one surprise to another. Don't forget to like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any episodes. If you love Jane, go to the playlist to find Jane's other channels. In today's video, we will bring to you the story Auntie and Nephew. Please watch along. Seeing Asher coming home from work, his aunt ran out to the alley to greet him. He looked cheerful and happy. "You're home from work, son? I haven't seen you come over to my house for a few days. Have you fallen off your bike in the past few days? Did you work hard this morning? Your clothes are all wet." "I'm fine, not too tired. If I have time tonight, I'll come visit you," Asher said, then suddenly realized that she was wearing a rather revealing outfit, not suitable for outsiders. He hesitated. "Oh, why are you out on the street like this? What if someone sees you and says something?" His aunt chuckled. "Oh, who cares? Dressing like this is cool. There's nothing to worry about. And now that you're home, go inside." His aunt rolled up her sleeves as she spoke, making Asher feel even more embarrassed. He felt troubled but didn't want to make things difficult for her, so he said, "Come over to my house. I'll make some black chicken to stew for you. You'll be fine eating a lot of chicken." The aunt smiled as if she had been given a gift. "Oh, that's great. Please cook for me. I'll follow you." She quickly followed Asher into the house, chattering away. Asher left, feeling a little embarrassed. He didn't know what to do. "Auntie, just take him home. I've eaten all the food. Save that for Uncle," Asher said quickly, took off his sweaty shirt, hung it on the line, and ran straight to the chicken coop. Asher felt his aunt staring at him, but he didn't understand what was going on. Seeing her smiling, he felt even more confused, not understanding what was going on. "What's wrong? Why are you smiling at me?" Asher asked suspiciously. The aunt did not answer, just silently looked at Asher, her eyes unblinking. Asher felt like she was lost in some thought, with no intention of explaining. Asher just stood there, feeling like something was wrong, but he could not figure it out. Flustered for a few seconds, Asher also realized the problem. It turned out to be his body, the firm body like rolling waves that had attracted his aunt so much. Asher was startled and shy. "Are you looking at me? Mine is the same as yours. There's nothing there that you're looking at so intently. If you were like that, I would love it. You're as plump as a salted fish. I'm already bored of looking at you. I've probably never seen anyone with a body as beautiful as yours. That's why you're so attractive." The aunt continued to laugh. "If you compensate me a little, I'll feel less miserable. He looks weak, but he is very weak. Don't look down on me first. Many people wish I was weak. Oh, I'm telling the truth. You're bored with life. No one would take it even if you gave it to me. What a bored person. Can't do anything." "Bored?" Asher smiled and looked at her. "What's that about? You keep talking bad about us." That thing. If you don't do your work, what will you eat? Every now and then, a husband and wife should have happy moments, but you've been starving for a while now. It seems like he's impotent." She spoke freely and frankly, without any sense of shame or embarrassment. "I think that would be a shame for you. You should go back and nourish your uncle. Your wife is still so naughty, but this is so sad." After hearing Asher's words, she felt as if she had untied the knot in her heart. While tying the chicken, she shouted up to Asher, "Then Asher shouldn't worry about finding someone to love, so that you can have someone to be with and have children. It's really a shame for someone like this to stay alone. I really want to, but there's no one else in this village, Auntie." "You just think so, but who would want me if I'm so indifferent?" "You keep saying that. Young, healthy, and handsome like you, there's no shortage of girls chasing you. Even I don't even bother talking about young people. Mrs. Hawaii deliberately waved her dress to attract Asher's attention. She sat down and tied the chicken. There was nothing to cover it up, so what needed to be hidden was exposed. Asher didn't want to look, but everything caught his eye. The aunt's innocent words made Asher feel hot all over. Actually, he understood Mrs. Asher's personality, sighed, understood her aunt's lack and desire, but she had never shown it so clearly. Suddenly today, when she said it, Asher felt moved. His male instincts began to rise, even though the woman in front was a relative and she was already middle-aged. Although they were called aunts, in fact, Mrs. Hawaii and Asher were not close relatives because they lived in the same village and had been close for a long time, so everything was so natural. Asher lives alone, his parents are gone, he has freedom, and his cuteness is what caught the eye of the old aunt. Mrs. Hawaii is almost 50 years old this year. She is not beautiful, but has a slim figure. Everything on her body is prominent and sharp, so she is not too bad. Mrs. Hawaii and her husband quarrel all day long. When she was young, she could stand it, but now she is old. Her health is poor. Her husband is no longer interested. Mrs. Hawaii has high needs, always feels frustrated inside. Her biggest wish is to have a healthy man by her side, not only to solve her needs, but also her lifelong desire. That is why she is always annoyed with her husband, but is only gentle and pleasant with Asher, the nephew she wants to understand the most. She knows he can please her. Asher's image always appears in her dreams, in her imagination every night. Every time she saw Asher, her heart would flutter. It would awaken the desire of a woman in her prime. Her face would turn red and lose control when facing him. Sometimes the desire would flare up, looking at her face as if she wanted to eat Asher alive right there. Today was the same. She got the chicken, but she didn't want to go home, just stood there looking at him and expressing her thoughts and desires. Oh, I have to admit that Asher is really handsome. Regular exercise is really different. Looking at this healthy body, who wouldn't look up? Asher looked straight into his aunt's eyes, his voice gentle and friendly. You look so cheerful today. So are you into it? She asked half-jokingly. Even old women are crazy about you, let alone young girls. If you please any girl, they will be ecstatic. I also wish to please women, but there is no one. I please all, young and old, as long as they are women. She widened her eyes in surprise as if she had found something. So, an old woman like you, will you please me? Your aunt wants this too. If anyone hears you say that, it's bad. Go tell Uncle Trio. Mrs. Thu sat up and walked straight towards Asher. You can't please him. If you can, what can you do? Something's going to make me sad. Now I'll give it to you for free. Will you take it? Are you joking too long? I'm serious. I see you're a young man without anyone by your side. How can you stand it? Or you think I'm old and I'll tell you. Old has its good points. I don't care about beauty or ugliness, old or young. It just needs to be suitable for the situation, Mrs. Thu said, looking back and forth, then pulled Asher close to her. I'm asking you honestly, is it okay for you to look at me? Sometimes I see you look at me very carefully and even blush. Just say it. Don't be shy. Mrs. Thu seemed unable to keep calm. Her eyes were seething with something. Her cheeks were red. Her mouth was stuttering and unable to form sentences. Asher was shocked, not believing those words. Could it be that she wanted to do that to him? Was it because her husband was too weak that the aunt became like this? Normally she wouldn't be so bad, but today she was so bold. But hearing those seductive words, Asher couldn't sit still. The latent male instinct in him was still raging, like a burning fire. The intense desire emerged, which had always existed in his dreams and fantasies. How could he refuse when his aunt suddenly enticed him like this? Are you sober? We are relatives, and our relationship is good. I don't think that way about you. If you keep making such a big deal out of it, if something happens, you won't be able to control it. It seemed that Asher's hot body made Mrs. Hawaii lose control completely. She looked straight into his eyes, her hands tightly gripping his strong shoulders. Seeing you makes me feel fascinated. Maybe it's because I've been starving for so long that I'm dizzy. You're like that. And at night I have to brace myself to fight against my own desires. I'm also very miserable. Why don't you help me relieve some of that fatigue? The light touch and provocative words made Asher feel awkward. He still couldn't believe those words were true. How could an auntie take the initiative to seduce her nephew? But Mrs. Huai's expression was definitely true. Although her face wasn't exactly beautiful, her figure still made many men want to look at her. Asher was the same. Every time he saw his auntie, Asher would steal glances at her, and at night he couldn't help but daydream and have illusory, distorted thoughts. His reason couldn't overcome her charm. He raised his hand and lightly caressed her shoulder and arm, showing his intention. If you say that again, I'll do it. Come on, go home and cook for your uncle. Mrs. Thew smiled. Then come over to my house tonight. Uncle broke his leg, so he can't go anywhere. Every night at my house, I'm so sad. Come over tonight to talk a bit to ease your mind. Yes, my family always welcomes you. My parents have been back to my hometown for the past few days. It's boring being home alone, so please feel free to make yourself comfortable. That whole day, Mrs. Hawaii was so nervous that she couldn't do anything properly. Her mind was filled with dark thoughts about her nephew next door. In the afternoon, she cooked dinner early to prepare to go to Asher's house. She took a shower and put on a very short set of clothes. Her spirit was full. Her anticipation was evident on her face. She was looking forward to the wonderful moments that were about to come. She had endured this craving for so many years. Now that she had the chance, it was like finding a glass of cold water in the middle of the desert. After finishing the meal for her husband, she quickly walked to Asher's house. When he opened the door, Asher was quite startled. He didn't expect his aunt to be so neat and clean today, and there was even a faint scent of perfume. He had never seen his old aunt so beautiful. He didn't know if it was because his male instincts were so strong that he lost all reason, or if she was really beautiful. He shyly said to his aunt, "You look different today, so fresh and so young. But my uncle and I didn't use it. What a waste of heaven's gift." Mrs. Hoy smiled and replied, "Then today I came here to let you try it." Both aunt and nephew entered the house. Following the man's instinct, Asher closed the door. Mrs. Hoy sat down on the sofa, pulled the fan towards her, and while drying her hair, she talked. "So you stay home alone like this every night. How can you stand being so sad?" Asher sat across from her, looking uncomfortable because they had never been in a closed room like this before. Even though he had mentally prepared himself, he still couldn't calm down. "Well, I don't have a girlfriend, so I can only stay at home and not go anywhere. Sometimes I feel lonely, but I have to endure it, Auntie. You look different today, much more beautiful than usual, and look much younger." Hearing Asher's compliment, Mrs. Hawaii was very pleased. It had been a long time since someone complimented her on her youth. She lifted her shirt slightly, letting it fly with the wind to attract Asher's attention. That action revealed a very obvious, dangerous spot. Asher was dazzled when he saw it. He didn't think that at this age, that spot could still be so beautiful. Asher's mind was flying up into the clouds, his face starting to show an uncontrollable expression. "Come here, sit with me, sit next to me so it's cool. Do you shiver sitting next to an old woman?" After hearing Mrs. Huai's words, Asher instinctively jumped up and sat down on the chair with her. He leaned back, admiring her slim back and flowing hair. "Do you dare? I can't wait any longer." But in the face of his aunt's rude initiative, he became stronger. He fiercely rushed in, just like the instinct he wished for every night. "Why are you in such a hurry? Take it easy. It's more fun when you take it slow." "Oh, I can't take it anymore. Do you know how much I've been holding back for so many years? Today, I finally let go of the frustration inside me. Don't make me hold back anymore." Then the two of them rushed into each other most fiercely in front of the sofa. That was also where they relieved their early thirst. Both of them were so fierce that they could not bring each other into the bedroom. Their heat was burning with fire. Mrs. Huai was limp, enjoying these unique moments. Asher tensed up, serving her so that his aunt could feel the happiest, most fulfilled. Strange sounds echoed throughout the room, all kinds of mixed sounds. It made both of them more lingering, more immersed. Asher never dared to think that one day he would be able to symphony with his aunt who lived near his house like this. He did not dare even in his dreams. But one fine day he was able to enjoy such climaxing moments. What do you think? Am I doing as well as you? You did very well. Much better than me. It's been a long time since I've been this happy. Don't stop. Keep going on your journey. You're still feeling it just this once, okay? I don't want a next time like this. If we get caught, both you and I will be ruined. Stop talking, I don't want to hear that. Let me be happier. It seemed that Mrs. Hoy had not had enough. Facing Asher's determination, she still wanted more. Much more. I don't know why, but my whole body was burning up. The feeling was hard to describe, but I was very scared. After all, we were relatives, remember? If someone found out, I would have to leave the country. If you're not afraid, then what are you afraid of? In this godforsaken place, who knows? Is it fear or seeing an old woman? Asher chuckled. The electric current inside him began to spread strongly. The sweet words further stimulated Asher's desire. His hand began to touch his grandmother. I'm just afraid of being discovered. What's the point of pretending like this? To tell you the truth, I've been paying attention to you for a long time. I don't know how it is in Uncle's eyes, but I personally find you very attractive and special. Then what are you waiting for? I only have a little over an hour. I just told you to go buy some things. Hurry up, or else she'll start screaming again. After saying that, she turned to face Asher, her face becoming tense. She pulled Asher closer to her. He felt a little nervous. Then the two of them rushed into each other passionately. Asher had to use all his energy to please his aunt as much as possible. But in return, he also felt wonderful feelings that other girls couldn't give him. A deviant relationship, an older woman, brought Asher completely new moments. It made him crazier, more desirous. The two only stopped when Asher's strength was gone. It was already too late. Mrs. Hawaii hurriedly packed her things to leave. Before leaving, she did not forget to give Asher compliments and irresistible sweet words. You are the most wonderful man I have ever met. Not only attractive, but also good at work. Truly a gift from heaven. I will come over in a few days. You have to please me for a long time. Just consider me as your friend. I will share everything with you. You're amazing too, aren't you? I didn't think this day would come. You're better than the girls I know. Whenever you want, come to me. I will not refuse again. And so it went on. They made appointments to meet 5 to 7 times a month. Whenever one of them had a need, they would call, and the other would immediately appear. They acted quickly and very discreetly. The matter had lasted for nearly 3 months, and Mrs. Hawaii's husband still didn't know anything. Many days when she wanted to, while cooking, Mrs. Hawaii would run to Asher's house, do it quickly, and then go home. She always considered Asher as a hero, coming to save her dead-end life. Moral issues did not appear in her mind. As time passed, Asher and Mrs. Hawaii still maintained their secret routine, more careful and discreet than ever. The meetings became rare moments that both of them waited for and longed for. Although they knew clearly the risks and consequences if discovered, they could not let go of their intense attraction for each other. Asher was now used to the role of a secret lover, and his grandmother still saw him as a new source of life, helping her escape the boredom and suffocation of marriage. So they quietly enjoyed the passionate moments together, leaving behind vague worries about the future. Although remorse sometimes crept into Asher's mind, he still did not have the courage to stop. As for Mrs. Hoy, with her callousness to moral standards, she only cared about keeping the feeling of satisfaction that Asher brought. Those clandestine meetings became an indispensable part of their lives, like a fire burning in the dark with no clear end in sight. Asher and Mrs. Hoy knew they were on a dead-end road, but neither of them really wanted to stop. Ladies and gentlemen, our story will stop here. Hopefully, it has brought you the most interesting and wonderful emotions. If you find this story interesting, don't forget to like, share, and leave a comment about your thoughts below. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next interesting stories. And now, Jane would like to say goodbye and see you again in the next videos. Wish you a wonderful day.